Welcome to number 9, Reflections and Confessions of the $50 Billion Man. As we leave Guthrie on the 21st of August, 11 days after my birthday, and 10 days after the last day of the celebration, but just a few days after the last guest left. A lot of things are happening. As I leave on CNN, the stock market is collapsing down 300 points yesterday in America. They're blaming it on everybody from the Chinese to God knows who. Jimmy Carter, at age almost 91, has just been diagnosed with cancer that has apparently spread to his brain. And he made a very brave announcement saying so. And there's a lot of hot topics in the news. I just released yesterday to the people that were in attendance for my 3-day gala, celebrating my 70th birthday. Some final comments on my 70th birthday, and it's already, somebody's already put it on social media. Actually beat us to the punch. In the next day or two, or actually the next few days, we'll be releasing the pictures and the videos of the 3-day event to the people that attended, and a number of other things. So it'll be in the public domain in the next few days. Part of my comments that I released, about 10, 11 minutes, which I got emotional about, was the fact that I still work very, very hard at being all that I can be, and i.e. the $50 billion man. Now, as you can see, my hat I'm wearing, showbiz is my life, which is a gift from my driver, my limo driver, Dave, in Los Angeles. One of the things that I'll be accomplishing on this trip, and we'll be gone about a month, is the meetings in New York City and Los Angeles with networks that are interested in the reality show, or at least one of the aspects of the reality show, because there's 2 or 3 of them out there. Actually, there's more than 2 or 3. I think there's 3 or 4 of them out there. And so I will personally be pitching the networks both in New York City and Los Angeles in a couple of weeks. But from here, we go to Dublin, Ireland, where I have a board meeting with a new company that I'm a chairman of. And I've asked Tony Ward, my good friend who spoke at my 70th, who I used to be in business with years ago, and I'm asking him to be my interpreter. Yes, they speak English in Ireland, and but I want him to be there just to listen in, in case I miss any Irish nuance. From there, we go back to London, where I have a number of meetings with some QLA mentees and some QLA devotees, and then we get on a boat in Southampton, and we sail across the Atlantic for New York City on the Cunard ship, the Queen Mary II, which ought to be a lot of fun. And it's an ocean liner, not a cruise ship. And then we're in New York a few days, and then we go to Los Angeles for our meetings. And I plan on, if we have time, I plan on taking Sally to Disneyland for a day, because she has never been, and it'll be interesting to see her reaction to Disneyland. And many of you have probably been to Disneyland, Disney World in Florida, or perhaps Disney World in Paris or in Japan. So we have a full schedule, as they say, and then we come back, and I've already started preparing for the end of October seminar, and I've already started preparing for the QLA Hardcore, which starts on the 24th of December and runs through the 3rd of January. And we've still got a couple of slots. We had a couple of people drop out of the Christmas Hardcore for various reasons. As in life, you can never underestimate what's going to change or how wrong you can be. So I've got a lot of work to do. And one of the things that was important to me to give my reflections, 10, 11 minutes of reflections of the my 70-year party, 70th birthday, was that I'm still working hard at it, and I believe with all my heart that I've only just begun. With the advent of social media and my newfound fame, so to speak, and now being considered a talent at age 69, it actually started, and now 70, I still find that amusing. And so I plan on taking advantage of it vis-a-vis the exposure to spread QLA. At my 70th, we had a number of speakers that got up and said a lot of nice things about me. And as I said in my closing remarks that were just published on social media, any resemblance between Mother Teresa and myself is purely coincidental. And I really don't feel that I'm have deserved such accolades. I deserve a lot of accolades, but certainly none compare me to a saint. Because I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a saint. But to hear tell these people talk about me, that they've known me, Bruce Whipple's known me 22 plus years. And Fidel Vargas, who's known me about 21 years, and Jeremy Knight, who's known me over 30 years, and of course my kid brother Vince, who's known me virtually all his life, and he's 56. You'd think that I'm running for Pope, and the College of Cardinals was going to vote on me. That's all very nice, but they're not going to say bad things about me at my birthday. Also, my friend since 1956 got up the last day and had a few nice words to say about me, Howard Stein, and two of my longtime friends, Howard from 56 and Walter Wojak from 1957. Were there and unfortunately shared some of the stories about me when I was a youth, actually in front of my kids. So but I attribute those things that I did that were perhaps not too savory to the immaturity and youth, just as I see my mentees do every day. It's quite challenging for me to keep up with about 100 business models, but I'm up to it. Fortunately, as Sally would say, I've got the brain as big as a fucking planet. She doesn't use the fucking part, but it is challenging, and it keeps me on my toes. What's unfortunate is that I know the business model of many of my mentees better than they do, and they work on them every goddamn day. Now, I don't know what that says about them or me, other than that I got a brain as big as a planet, but to me, in many cases, it's because they don't take it seriously. In many cases, I take their business and their prosperity more serious than they do, which is not a good thing. That's a bad thing. And whilst we make progress, and every single person that I work with makes progress, and that I don't give up on them as long as they don't give up on themselves, it shows the seriousness, the level of commitment And as Bruce Whipple reminded me of an email today that I don't talk about as much as I used to talk about, is the pay price to action. For every action, there's a reaction, definite opposite reaction. And I certainly am still willing to make those commitments. And as I said in the 10 plus minutes summary of my birthday gala, I still work 50, 60, as much as 70 hours a week. Even when we go on this cruise across the Atlantic, I'll still be working 5-6 hours a day, if not more. I actually like this cruise that we're going on this because we don't stop any place. We're at sea 8 days, and so that means I don't have to get off the boat and have Sally drag me around in a power march to some dipshit city. Because once you've seen one island, you've fucking seen them all, and with rare exception. And once you've seen something in the French Riviera or Italian Riviera, you've seen them all, with rare exception. Once you've seen one Greek island, you've seen them all. So the good news is that I won't have to be seeing a bunch of stuff that I've already seen. All I'll be seeing is blue water from Southampton to New York City. So that'll be good, and I have a lot of time to work on the October seminar and the hardcore seminar over Christmas. The hardcore seminar over Christmas is going to be really challenging for the kids that come, and they don't have any idea how challenging it'll be. But I'm gonna have a lot of fun beating them. Now, speaking of beating, a couple of my mentees I haven't seen in a while that I used to beat like regularly showed up, and what I didn't even think of, or it never dawned on me, that a lot of the kids would be bringing their significant others and other people into the seminar room. Didn't dawn on me. Otherwise, I would have fucking locked it. But they were all wanted to see who's on the Hall of Shame and who's on the Hall of Fame. And that didn't even dawn on me that anybody would wander in there. But the August seminar attendees, the seminar ended on the 6th of August, who were, was fresh in their mind. They went back there and they took pictures. Even Brian Rose, for a little social media blip he did for his London Reelers, went back there and he toured around the castle. And again, I thank him for the exposure to social media and showbiz is my life, like the hat says. But a lot of people went in and looked at it. Why, I really still don't clearly understand, but there's a lot of things that my dipshit devotees and mentees do that I don't understand. And it's clearly a waste of time. But some even took pictures, with the Hall of Fame behind them, I guess aspiring to be there someday. And I'm always asked, well, what does it take to get on the Hall of Fame? And of course, my smart ass answer is, how long is a piece of string? And there is no clear answer, because everybody on the Hall of Fame isn't up there because of a monetary reason. It's because they clearly distinguish themselves in their area of endeavor. I'm proud to say that I had a lot to do with training them, coaching them, mentoring them, etc. So they took pictures. Nobody took pictures of themselves in front of the Hall of Shame, though, which I guess isn't surprising. A few people took pictures in front of the influencers. And again, my influencers are, Attila the Hun, Vlad the Impaler, Hitler, Stalin, Christ, to name a few. And those are the people that either directly or indirectly influence, who I am. And from public speaking to my morality and in some cases my integrity. I find it, I don't know, strange isn't the right word, but I find it unique that the comments I got back from virtually everybody was that there was a je ne sais quoi, a positive energy that was in the room, not just in the room, but each day at the events. And I attribute that to, which is no mystery, no secret, virtually everybody that came to the party, or virtually everybody that was invited to the party, was a high performance person. Some were more high performance than others, but they were all high performance people. Compared to the masses, as we drive through Forfar here, which is one of the two cities or little towns that Guthrie is situated between, Forfar and Arbroath, compared to the regular folk that live and are walking down the streets here, I mean, the people at that seminar, Jesus Christ Superstar. But then again, virtually all of them I trained, almost all of them, and but there was a high energy level. Of course, one of the things that keeps me ostensibly young, acting and thinking, is that I'm around reasonably bright people, and in some cases extremely bright people, and I have to be quick on my feet. Although I say tongue-in-cheek, for some of you, I don't have to be so fucking quick. I could be in a coma, a self-induced coma, and still be quicker than. But I say that in the spirit of brotherly love and candor. But the being around young people, and all of you are young. I'm old enough to either be your father or grandfather. And one of the big surprises that I got, speaking of grandfather, is that I knew that my daughter-in-law, Emily, was with child, my grandchild, and my son, Derek, my youngest son. And but I was informed, we were informed that they will be having a baby girl. So I'll have a granddaughter come January, approximately January. And but getting back to the kids that were there was a higher energy level, and I could see it feed, when people sat around and talked to Bruce Whipple, they got energized. When they sat around and talked to Fidel Vargas and some of the others that were there, they got energized. And part of that energy, a great deal of that energy, is infectious. And as I say, I mean, you are who you hang around with. And even though I don't hang with anybody, I am, the last 22 years, a good part of me is, and the energy that I have is derived from the energy that I give and I get from the kids that I deal with on a daily basis, especially during the seminars. One of the things that the kids marvel at is the first 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 minutes of the Castle Seminar. I'm really on fire, okay? But the last 10, 20, 30 minutes of the seminar, I'm, if not more, on fire. And because I gain energy and I gain momentum. Whereas I look wide awake, bushy-eyed and wide awake, the kids in the seminar by the third day look tired. And by the last day, they look beat. Now, part of that is, and a good, maybe almost all of it is emotional drainage, because they're coming to grips with the fact that why they're fucked up, and some of the buttons that I push during the seminar, which are fairly brutal about their upbringing, and if you go to sports bars and you belch and fart with your buddies, that's what you're going to turn out to be. And unfortunately, that's what your kids are going to turn out to be. And so I'm on fire by the end of the seminar, and they're beat up. They seem to rally graduation night when they get their diplomas, and they get a few accolades and after graduation dinner, and then they, as they say here in Scotland, they go on the piss, which means they go and start drinking, although they're allowed to drink during the seminar, but not too many drink to excess. A few do, but not too many, because we give homework and we make sure that they're accountable the next morning. So, but by the time an hour or two after dinner and after they've had a few drinks and they go up to the snooker room and they start acting like they would normally act, which in some cases like an idiot, and we have some pictures of them dancing on the snooker table, which you're not supposed to, but anyway, fortunately nobody wrecked the snooker table. But the energy level is impressive. And the birthday party, the 3-day event, was no exception to that. We had a lot of energy there. We had falconry, we had skeet shooting, we had the golf tournament, which I'll get back to in a minute. We had opera singers, we had Scottish dancing, we had one night it was Frank Sinatra type music. We had magician roaming around. We had tarot cards telling your fortune. We had pretty much all the bases covered, and that was enjoyable. And we also had whiskey tasting the afternoon of the third day, and everybody liked it. But one of the highlights for me was the golf tournament. Even though I didn't play in the golf tournament, the golf course ate everybody's lunch. Nobody played well. Even the professional golfer Jim Perez, he didn't play well. And but to their credit, I believe they didn't play well, partially because they were playing with hangovers. Except for my daughter-in-law, who's carrying my grandchild. She didn't drink, so she can't use, and she's a good athlete, she's a good golfer, she can't use the hangover as an excuse for not playing well. The course was in magnificent condition, and it ate everybody's fucking lunch. And I'm very pleased to say that the course stood and has stood the test of time. Now, I've gotten a lot of thank yous for Sally's hard work. And as I said in my 10-minute afterthoughts, I didn't lift one fucking finger to do one goddamn thing for my 70th birthday. And some would say that I went out of my way to make sure it was more difficult by fucking it up, by changing things around. But I don't think that that's a fair comment. But I certainly didn't do anything, and I want to take this opportunity again to thank my lovely wife for all the hard work that she did, and we received a lot of compliments for the party. A couple of my mentees, and these are stars, said one of them said, I realized that even though I think that I've been successful, I'm not successful because all I would think about is how much this party cost. Well, if you got to think about it, then you shouldn't have it. Just like Bunker Hunt told me many years ago when I was partners with him, he said, Danny, if you're worried about paying taxes, you're not making enough fucking money. And so I would say comment something along the same lines, that if you got to think about how much that party costs, then you shouldn't be having it. But I don't know what it costs. I don't believe my wife will be telling me what it costs. But I really don't care what it costs, and it was important, not just for me, but I mean for a celebration for the mentees that were able, devotees that were able to come. A number of the people that I've known a long time that are more or less my age weren't there because of health reasons, which is unfortunate, and I wish them all well, and I wish that they could have come. And I'm going to be sending them the snapshots. The pictures that we took, both professionally and from my staff, will go out to the people that were in attendance. and a portion of those same videos and pictures will go out to the general public. I was happy to see Howard Morgan, who was the famous portrait painter that painted my infamous picture of me standing there with Driller, my old Great Dane, was in attendance, and I hadn't seen him in about 27, 28 years. And he was happy to see that the painting still looks good, as were a number of people that had helped me get started in life, or showed me a kindness many years ago, and which I was happy to see that they could come. But I would be disingenuous if I didn't say I was glad finally to see them all go. And as I commented already, that's the first time since I'm in my 20s that I had a hangover 3 days in a row. I don't remember, other than in my 20s, possibly into my early 30s, that I had a hangover 3 days in a row. And when you're not used to drinking, which I'm not anymore, and you got a hangover, it's doubly or triple hard on your body. And as good a shape as I'm in, and as young as I feel, I can tell you with my hand on my heart that I didn't recover as quickly as I did in my 20s or early 30s from those hangovers. And I did consume quite a bit of alcohol, and significantly more alcohol than I've consumed in many years, because I look at alcohol now as wasted calories. I'd rather eat a piece of chocolate or something now, which is could be construed as a sad commentary on life now. But the party went well. I couldn't be more pleased. But I am glad it was only 3 days. I asked my wife, I think the day after the party was over, whose bright idea was it to have a 3-day party, and she looked at me and she pointed at me and she says, it was yours. And while my 50th was a great party, it was only 1 day, although we had some guests that got there a little before and stayed a little after. We had a number of guests that stayed on the estate, and they thought it remarkable that how good shape the estate was, how the old girl really looked good, and especially not just the house with flowers that we had, and again the golf course. The pavilion, whilst I didn't build the pavilion to house parties for myself, it came in very handy, because for some of you that have known me many, many years, I said after my 50th, that was at Glom's Castle, I was going to have my 70th at Buckingham Palace. But that was, when I said that in 1995, that was before Buckingham Palace opened up part of the palace to the public, the general public. And so you can have events there. When I had my party, my 50th at Glom's, we were the first event to ever be at Glom's Castle. The castle was only open up to short tours through part of the castle, but now Glom's is open up quite extensively. And I decided a couple years ago, when we decided to do this, that I didn't want to do it at Buckingham Palace, because anybody could do it at Buckingham Palace. I should say anybody. I mean, anybody with any money can do it, and I'd rather do it, especially from a convenience point of view, and that I could put up my friends and there on the estate, along with my own kids, my family. So that worked out well, and as you'll see both on the videos, and if you know anybody that was actually at the party, the pavilion worked out grand, as did using the main rooms of the castle. We had security. We had fairly tight security, and as far as I can tell, we had no security breaches. Nothing bad happened, as far as I can tell. Today, touch wood, nothing material was broken or missing. But I fully expect that none of the guests would take anything. I only say that tongue in cheek. The reality show, skipping to the subject that I mentioned a few minutes ago, Show Business My Life, has turned, and as I say, all deals morph, they all pivot, and what you start out doing isn't what you end up doing. So the one that I'm pitching the networks in a couple weeks, both in Los Angeles and New York, is a slightly different concept than was originally thought from this production group. Because no matter how interesting or intriguing I think some of these concepts are, that doesn't mean that they can sell it to the public. And so the networks want something they know they can sell, i.e. that they can get sponsorship to. Now, with the advent of Donald Trump leading the polls, another thing that's happening right now, he's leading the polls, and he also, recent polls indicate that he would score favorably if he had to run against Hillary Clinton. Not necessarily to win. I think he was behind 4 or 5%, which is within the scope of virtually a tie. But as I said at my birthday, him being so high in the polls is a clear reflection that the people are fucking fed up with politicians, and they're fed up with political correctness. And of course, now I've known that for a long, long time. And and he says it how it is, and he says it how he believes, and he doesn't couch anything he says. He doesn't put any, he puts a positive spin on it, which is what I do. But he doesn't give a shit because he's not selling anything, and he's not having to look for money from anybody. And that's not dissimilar for me. I don't sell any product. I give it all away. And the only thing that I sell is the Castle Seminar. And that Castle Seminar, I make it fairly expensive because I want you to show me that you've got skin in the game and that you're really committed. Along those lines, I'm being asked right now, we're in preliminary negotiations, if that's the right word, about doing a thing for a big magazine group in Hong Kong. Whether it comes to fruition or not, we'll see. Because giving a speech in Hong Kong is one thing. Giving a full-blown QLA seminar like I did for Brian Rose at the London Ritz earlier this year is something completely different. My last exposure to China in 2008-9, we were a guest of the Chinese government, Hunan province, and we had 20 seemingly high-powered CEOs in the audience, and I didn't know, but they were being forced to be there by the government. And in hindsight, I can now understand why they weren't readily wrought with joy to listen to me for a couple of days. But if we can get around that, then I might be persuaded to do something in Hong Kong. And we'll see. It would be in December. And in fact, it would be around December 8th. So we'll see what happens. But a couple of my Chinese mentees are adamant that the Chinese youth, the entrepreneurs, need somebody like me. That, as one of them says, to produce or show them the alpha male father image they never had. Well, I'm not trying to be anybody's father other than to my own kids. And whether I've been successful at being a father to them, you'd have to ask them. But that's not why I do this. And unfortunately, as we drive by, there's a serious accident, and I hope nobody was hurt. And speaking of hurt, I say frequently that as long as it's moral, ethical, legal, you're not breaking the laws, and we're not hurting anybody on purpose, anything goes with QLA. And the operative part of that sentence is not hurting anybody on purpose, because you will hurt people. And because as you get out of your comfort zone and you push the limits of your own abilities and your own comfort, and you take responsibility for your life, you'll be pushing the limits of, in many cases, the people you love, the people you're in business with, etc. But I tell people all the time that you can't be a good father, a good husband, a good business partner, even a good entrepreneur if you don't love yourself. And I tell the kids, and I told the kids at this 3-day party that all of them could stand to be more selfish, and by that I mean you're not in this world just to please everybody else. There are no recipes for success, but a recipe for disaster is to try to please everybody else in your life. I'm looking forward to this trip. I'm looking forward to, not that I need the rest, I don't need to be energized, but I'm looking forward to pitching the networks. I've already found some mistakes in the pitch, which I find amusing. These high-priced young kids, they went to good schools, make fundamental errors that they shouldn't. But I'm looking forward, and I'd like to get one of these networks on the hook as fast as humanly possible. Now, this is for the U.S. It has nothing to do with the U.K., and I'm still in the progress of trying to push forward to get it at the same level with UK networks. It's a little different because UK networks don't have to sell it to sponsors in many cases because they don't have sponsorship, especially BBC and things like that. I want to thank everybody. I continue to get some birthday gifts. And it took me a day and a half to write thank you notes. And thank you notes is about the only thing I believe in being politically correct. And it's a pain in the ass. And I can assure you, we had trouble keeping track of who gave me what, etc. And in fact, I only spent about 10 minutes opening gifts at the party. And there's another film coming out that we videoed a couple days later where I opened all the gifts and I said thank you to everybody. And but for my 75th birthday, if I have a party, I can assure you there'll be no fucking thank you notes. It's a pain in the fucking rectum. And so that will leave my political correct. I think one of the only things, other than still getting up when a woman comes in the door and holding the door for a woman, and thank you notes are about the only things left on my political correct agenda. And thank you notes are going by the wayside. And I just as soon not get up because it hurts my arthritic knees when a woman walks in the door, but I still do that. It doesn't hurt any of my joints to hold the door open for a woman, so that'll be the last thing to go when I can't move my shoulders anymore. But anyway, in that happy vein, I want to thank everybody again for all the gifts, all the nice notes, all the accolades, and God bless, peace.